salmon fish sticks, curry couscous, and sweet pea hooray! Puree. I have a couple of Norwegian salmon fillets, nice and fresh, skin on. Some people don't like the skin. I like the skin. It's good, has a lot of nutrients, a lot of good flavor. We're gonna put panko breadcrumbs on them. We're gonna fry them up so they're nice and crisp, but so soft and juicy on the inside. And then we're gonna make the couscous. If you haven't cooked it before, just get the packet version from your grocery store. It's pretty easy to do. You can buy it flavored. I'm gonna add my own flavor, just a little bit of curry powder. We're gonna take some peas. These were previously frozen peas, and we're just gonna warm them up in a pan with a little chicken broth and just a little mint flavor. The mint flavor I'm using is actually a mint sauce. Just buy it in the store. This one is mint and vinegar. We're just gonna cut these into the closest to even sizes of fingers that we can. We don't want them too large, probably just about a 1/2 inch wide. With this thickness of salmon, we're just gonna cut them straight forward. I'm gonna leave that one a little larger because if I cut it now, we'll be left with a small piece. I'm gonna turn this piece around and go about the same size, but a little shorter in length. If we're gonna coat these in panko breadcrumbs, we're gonna need some flour first, egg wash, and then the breadcrumbs. So I have 1 egg in the bowl so far. I'm just gonna crack another egg and put it in there. So we have our egg wash, a little flour. Let's go ahead and season it. I'm gonna season the flour rather than the fish itself. The seasoning will be a little lighter that way. I just put a good pinch of salt in there and some pepper. You're gonna mix that in. Here's what I'm gonna do today is dill. Dried dill is going into this flour, and enough so that the flavor comes in. Now you can use tarragon, you can use parsley, whatever your favorite flavoring is, put it in the flour that's gonna coat the fish ready for frying. So the first thing we're gonna do is dredge these in flour. Why do we do the flour first? Because the flour helps the egg to stick to the fish. Drop it in the egg wash, make sure you get it all coated, then bring over your panko breadcrumbs and drop it in. Make sure it's well coated all the way around, and we'll just go ahead and do each piece the same way. Flour first, nice coating of egg wash, and panko breadcrumbs. And on it goes. Panko, of course, are a Japanese-style breadcrumb. They're a little more flaky, and they do crisp up really, really nicely because the flakes leave space between each other. We're done. We're just gonna put these in a little bowl here, ready to take to the pan to give them a good searing. Won't take long. Salmon cooks quickly. We don't want to dry the salmon out. We just want to make sure that it's cooked through, but leaves all of the moisture. That's the secret to a wonderful, crispy on the outside, soft and juicy on the inside salmon. And don't forget, as with any protein, meat, fish, chicken, protein stuff, let it reach room temperature before preparing it to cook. It makes all the difference in the world. 2 cups of boiling water for the couscous, whole box. Quick stir around. And a generous knob of butter. It's going to give us some extra flavor. Couscous is essentially really a pasta. It's really little tiny beads of pasta, very popular in Morocco. But we need flavor on the plate to lift this dish. Not too much, but just a little smattering of curry powder will just give a nice little lift. I'm going to turn the heat off, and then, quite simply, cover it and forget about it. I'm gonna move on to the puree. I wanna make the puree and the couscous first because the fish will go real fast. I wanna be ready to get moving. We're gonna take these peas and put them in this little pan here. Turn up the heat. All we're doing is just making we're gonna add a little chicken stock, not much. This is a puree. We don't want too much liquid in here. It's not gonna be a soup on the plate. It has to have a little bit of substance. So just a little flavoring with just a touch of chicken stock. Little beads of pleasantries. Yes. These are warming through. It's time to give a good old shake to our mint sauce. This is very British, isn't it? We're gonna add a fair amount in here to give it enough mint flavor to lift it tremendously. Mint and peas is one of the classic flavors and aromas in cooking. So what we gotta do now is puree them. How are you gonna puree them? Well, I like to steer away from fancy equipment, but we need something here. You could mash them, but it's not really gonna be a puree. So a food processor, some kind of blender. I'm gonna use a hand blender just because it's quick. But anything that you have that will break this down is gonna work just fine. I'm gonna turn the heat down because they're almost done and just go ahead and blend these up. I'm gonna stop at this consistency because this is how I like them. I like a few little Peabodys. Mr. Peabody? Simmering very, very low. I want to add a little richness. I'm gonna add some cream cheese, just standard old cream cheese. Fair dollop is gonna go in, and we'll mix that around to melt into the pan, into the peas. Now it's bringing them together. A little more creaminess, a little more excitement. Mint, richness, sweetness of the peas. You got a pan here, medium heat. I'm gonna use some peanut oil, it's my favorite frying oil. And we're gonna put just about a ½ inch in the pan. You can deep fry these. I find that shallow frying just crisps them up a little bit better. Oil's coming up to temperature. Couscous is waiting. The pea puree is waiting. All we gotta do is get our salmon done. How do we know the oil's at temperature? We're just gonna take a little piece of the panko breadcrumbs, put them into the pan, just starting to lightly sizzle. That's really what I want. I don't want these to cook too quickly. I want them, they're pretty thick pieces. I lay them away from myself so I don't get splashed. I'm gonna start skin side down. Not gonna crowd the pan. Social distancing. They're gonna fry for exactly how long it takes. Each pan is different, each cut of fish is slightly different. So I guess 2 to 3 minutes to start off, turn them, see how you're doing. Another minute or two, turn them, see how you're doing. If you're enjoying this video, please subscribe, hit the bell, like, comment, send me a letter, drive by and knock on the door, take me on vacation. Been a couple of minutes, let's take a look. Let's sneak. Nobody knows, nobody's watching. Let's take a sneak and a look. Oh. Let's turn these around. This is a nice light browning. I want the light browning at this point. Don't overcook these beautiful pieces of salmon.
Tell us something else about your channel.
My channel, an Indian gentleman who lived in the Himalayas. His name's Derek. I channel chefs who failed.
No, it's you. You're going to take me to court for bad filming. You're going to be like,
what's
your hand on this camera? And you got me in the shot, and there was no.
Do you got me? Am I got? We're about there. To get these into some kind of dish, so that we can get them onto the plate. Oh my goodness. We'll take a little couscous, make sure that it's all mixed nicely together, and we're going to put it into a little dish here just to give ourselves a little extra visual splendidness. Push it into here just a little bit. It's okay that it goes all over the table. I'm not cleaning up. Plop this onto the plate and it will give us a nice dome. We'll take some of this spectacular pea puree, almost like mushy peas. Then quite simply, let's take a couple of beautiful pieces of salmon and know that this is beautiful and I can't wait to taste it. Try this. The moment of truth is to cut through. Let me just show you that the salmon is cooked absolutely beautifully. It is going to be just spectacular. I'm going to take a little bit of couscous with that curry flavor, a little bit of the pea puree, and I'm going to push on this piece of salmon at the same time and taste this beautiful taste. So simple, but so effective. The sweetness of the salmon, the crisp of the exterior. It's silky smooth on the inside. The sweetness with slight mint of the peas. It's balanced, it's fantastic, so easy to do. Give it a try. You're always welcome in the kitchen. Come on back. Come and see me here. Subscribe, like, press those buttons. We will see you next time.